We on? What's up, players? Um, this is just a little out of the ordinary for me, I guess. I want to talk about something social, I guess. Uh, Tupac versus Biggie. I want to start that, and I want to just make this disclaimer before I start it that anybody getting money, I respect them. So that's just how I feel. I mean, anybody, handling theirs, I respect it. So I'm not trying to, come at anybody on that level. But as far as musically, you know, opinions. Opinions are like assholes, and you're about to hear mine. So anyway, Tupac versus Biggie. I would say, everybody needs to do their history on it, and not even, they need to do both the music side and the social side of these two individuals, and just hip hop in general. Because I'm one of those people that firmly believes hip hop been dead. It has been hijacked and been dead. There are a few rappers left, but hip hop as a whole dead. Many of the arts that come with hip hop dead. From the breakdancing to the tagging to the music itself, dead. It's dead. Let's just be real.
Wait, what is it?
What hip hop?
It's what?
It's dead.
Oh.
It's dead. I mean, I'm one of the people that firmly believe it's dead, and that you just have a few remnants of what once was, like a Nas, or even Jay. You know what I mean? Because Jay kind of is like the new coming of well, Nas we know is like a Rakim. You know what I mean? Jay is kind of like a new, improved Kane. You know what I mean? But like I'm saying, back to Biggie and Pac. Again, Biggie is basically, he was like a new version of Chubb Rock. Basically, he was another Chubb Rock, a fat dark skinned dude from Brooklyn. That's Chubb Rock. Biggie probably even looked up to dude. It's probably even cool. But that's the same. Like just like exit Biggie, enter Rick Ross, and like fat phonies. Let's just be real, man. Let's just be real, man, on that one. Like, I love you for that one, Pac. But anyway, like what I was saying about Tupac. Why is there even a Tupac versus Biggie thing? If you listen to Tupac's last interview, he was even saying like, there's no East Coast, West Coast. If I see Biggie, I might not even be worried about it. It's so small. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, Pac was blowing him out the water in sales, even in jail. And like, I kind of don't even like to compare them because it really just does Tupac an injustice. Because let's just look at the subject matter of the music, and you really dilute Tupac's message when you compare him to somebody that was a pop artist like Biggie. And come on, man, he's associated with Puffy. Like Puffy, again, I respect that money. I mean, get that money. I respect all that, but musically, you're terrible. Put out garbage artists. Machine Gun Kelly, garbage artists, garbage.
Well, I never really heard of them.
I mean, look, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the music. I understand. Hey, I know that people have their opinions on other things, but as far as the music goes, I cannot stand where hip hop is, and I can't stand the comparison between Big and Pac because, I mean, come on, man. Like even in the Biggie movie, you gotta see like Biggie was a Tupac fan. He's a straight fan, yo. Tupac really like he come on, man. Like he spoke for so many people, and really people don't understand what he stood for. And people want to, put him up with Biggie like Biggie has any business even being in the same breath as this guy. Like Tupac. We need to change the way we eat. We need to change the way we live. We need to change the way we treat ourselves. Tupac was a great close friend to Left Eye, Lisa Left Eye Lopez. And as you may know, maybe from watching my videos, Left Eye cured herself of herpes by going to Dr. Sebi's in Honduras. She died in Honduras. But like she went down, like she didn't die from that, died in a car accident. But I'm just saying, like, Tupac knew about Sebi. Tupac knew you could heal yourself. That's why he said we need to change the way we eat before anything. And like that's if you really just evaluate Tupac's subject matter and what he had to say, it carries so much more weight. It was more weight than a million fat phonies. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, like, and Biggie isn't the worst artist. He's not. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying Biggie is a bad rapper or none of that. But he was like he's really like a regurgitated MC. Like really, let's just be real. Like and I kind of don't like how Nas gives him that credit. Like. Talking about Jay-Z, like you got the nerve to say that you're better than Big. Nas, you're better than Biggie. You always were. Always. Biggie has nothing to hold a candle to you. He's a nursery rhymer. Like, come on, man. Like, for real. Jay-Z, you're better than Biggie. It should be dead issues. Biggie should not even, like, okay. Many people don't know this. Brooklyn's Finest, Jay-Z and Biggie song. When they were doing the recording of that, Biggie was so defeated and afraid of Jay-Z. Jay-Z destroys him on every song that they have together. Jay-Z's verses are head and shoulders above. But on Brooklyn's Finest, Biggie took the record home because he was afraid to record it in front of Jay-Z because he knew, like, I need to really go home and get my thoughts together. And what did he say on the record? If Faith had twins, she'd probably have two Pacs. That's the only time that you really hear Biggie say anything addressing Tupac using his name. I mean, you can throw them subliminals all you want, but saying his name, that's really about it. And that's really more so a diss to Faith Evans than anything, your baby mom. That really, more than anything, that's what that is. Like, come on. If Faith had your baby mom, if she had twins, she'd probably have two Pacs. That's not Pac diss to me. I mean, that, if anything, that he's just like, whatever. I don't care about Faith. You know what I mean? That's how I would take it. But
I think it sounds like the way you're making it sounds like Biggie didn't even want to be for Tupac because he knew that he wasn't on that level. But I think a lot of the people at that time was hyping up just the East Coast and West Coast thing.
yeah, the media, they made all this money off of hyping that up and dividing and conquering people in general. Like that's what it always comes down to is the division. Like. What? They're both Black Americans. They both come from poverty. They both, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, as a person, I'm not really trying to destroy Big. You know what I mean? Like, but as far as the music goes, it's really like, come on, he wasn't talking about anything. And if you look at it, like most of his singles and hits are remakes. Sky is the limit. That's a remix. It's a Bobby Caldwell song. Like all his songs are really remakes. Like I don't know. Like it's Biggie, man. Like he was a cool artist. That's all I can give Big, really. That's really all I can give him. And like Tupac really stood for much more. That's why Tupac sold more. That's why he touched more people. That's why people consider him a modern day martyr. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tupac stood for so much more. He's a Black Panther, basically. You know what I mean? He's born in jail. Like again, and then people always want to come at Tupac for having gone to the art school in Baltimore and all that. But Biggie went to private school when he was a kid. Tupac auditioned and got in. Biggie's mom was paying for that. You know what I mean? So really, as far as their personal lives, they both came from the dirt. So I'm not judging that part. I'm judging the music and what they stood for. And Biggie was perpetuating garbage on some real, like, you know what I mean? Really, come on, man. Again, like I have to point to your weight. You're a terrible example for the youth. You're a terrible example. You need to, your body is your temple, and you treat it like that. You're perpetuating that, and it's not okay to be fat. I'm sorry, it's not okay. And that's just how I feel. Like you see Tupac, I mean, he was a little skinny. Like he wasn't skinny, but he was cut up. He worked on his body. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't about to be fat and like, come on, man, like for real. And again, like if you're fat, you eat, you're starving to death if you're hungry all the time.
Why don't you just talk about Tupac and Biggie?
What? I mean, all right, I'm done with
their music.
Oh, their music. All right, we talk about the music. I mean, if you listen to the music, if you do your history and really listen to it, listen to Tupac's music, and it's just heavier shit. It's just heavier. Like what he's talking about, like talking about nutrition. He's talking about everything. Tupac covered all grounds, and that's why you could see that he was just disgusted with Big, and like I kind of feel him. I really feel him, and this will probably have a part two because I probably didn't touch on everything, but I'm just gonna go into rap now, so we're gonna incorporate my lovely Ray. And how do you feel about the state of rap right, or hip hop, or music in general right now, Ray?
I feel like it's a lot different from a couple years ago when I was growing up already, and I'm only not that old yet. So I feel like it's a lot more vulgar, and it's pushing sex now more than anything, which is why I think there's so much more young mothers than it used to be, because a lot of the young kids are being influenced by the music so much, and a lot of not even like kids, but like young adults as well. Like going to the club now is cooler now more than it ever was. Drinking and smoking now is cooler now more than it ever was, and I think a lot of people it's really shaping a lot of people's lives overall. Like a lot of people, instead of doing something more productive, they're in the clubs now.
Because we all love music, right? Like music's a part of
Yeah,
life.
and
Like we're rhythmic people. Like chemistry, like your whole body is rhythmic. Like music is a part of us, and
yeah,
it's therapeutic.
and like behind the words, the music is still as good as it was, as it's always going to be, which makes it like hard. Because I still listen to the music, even though I don't like some of the messages that the songs may say. I still listen to it because it's still, like Taylor says, it's like therapeutic, and it still feels good to listen to it, and it still makes me dance and dig.
They got us caught up in the beats. Because the beats resonate with
and
you
we're
and your body.
subconsciously just taking in the message as well.
Yeah, exactly. The beats get in your body. They get in your chemistry, and all those tones, the 7 tones, they're all a part of you. And music is therapeutic. They've even had cases of people being sick, and music was therapeutic for them to get them out of their sickness.
When I'm sad or anything, I listen to music in the house.
Yeah, like it's a huge part of life or daily life in general. Like we are musical beings, like or rhythmic, whatever. But like it's just crazy to me, like how they hijacked it. Like you do your history, like just research Professor Griff and his interviews or his take on the Illuminati and how hip hop has been hijacked. Like if you really look at it, like let's be real, man. It was the voice of the voiceless for years, and then somewhere along the line it got hijacked. Like you got, you had Public Enemy talking about real shit. You had Tupac talking about real shit. You had all the old greats talking about real shit. And then we got NWA talking about, they came in, none of them wrote any of their music. It was all a false image. They weren't even, like Eazy-E was the realest of the NWA clique. Like, really, like if you listen to any K9 interview, anybody that was around from back then that knows them, you can tell that like, they're frauds. Eazy-E was the closest thing to real, and he didn't write his own music either. Dr. Dre didn't write his own music, like, and it just disgusts me how like NWA and that movement kind of hijacked the game, kind of like it kind of did, like, and it's kind of disgusting, like how it went from the voice of the voiceless to slapping bitches, hoes, bringing a lot of the guns into it,
and like and on.
Yeah, like and it snowballed from there. I'm not blaming it all on NWA, but that's a big benchmark or whatever, a staple in the game right there because it really changed how the music was coming out, and they were so huge across the country, even in white community, any community or pink communities, whatever, any community. They were listening to NWA. Anybody listening to hip hop or rap, and it changed it. It brought a different, lewdness to the game. Like, They brought that to the game. Like, and it was probably going to come regardless. I guess it was something that was unavoidable because it was here and it came and it's here. So, but people don't even know how to decipher. I just really feel bad for the kids now that think that this is rap. This is hip hop. Like, no, it's not, yo. No, it's not. It's not. And even further, I'm gonna go even further that real quick.
We should make a part 2 and expand into it. But I still want to talk about.
Okay, all right. Part 2, man. Coming soon, man.